Hey guys, in this video today I'm going to be doing basic rotation for the Arms Warrior in patch 5.0.4 and he's waving. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go over glyphs, talents, rotation, all that junk you need to know, and your burst, macros, all that, everything in one video, all you need to know to do some decent damage. So first of all, you're obviously going to want to start out with a charge, which is a macro for me, which casts one of my shouts. So you're going to start out with Colossus Smash and Mortal Strike. Then you're going to use Overpower because it procs, and if it procs again, use it. Slam when available, Rage, Dump, Slam. And then Mortal Strike whenever that is up. And always keep your Colossus Smash up. Keep Colossus Smash, Mortal Strike, and Overpower up at all times. And that's basically your rotation. I don't use Slam personally, but a lot of warriors do, just because it does 200% damage, and Heroic Strike does 110. The reason you would use Slam over Heroic Strike is because it does 215% damage, obviously more damage, but Heroic Strike does not have a global cooldown. It does not share a cooldown with other spells. I use Heroic Strike more than Slam. I hardly ever use Slam. The reason why is because of this glyph right here. Glyph of Hindering Strikes. Your Heroic Strike and Cleave now also reduce the target's movement speed for 50% for 8 seconds. Basically, I don't have to waste a global cooldown on Hamstring, and that gives me another keybind slot. And I keep my silences up if you have the glyph. Your Pummel and Heroic Throw also silence the target for 3 seconds. That is Glyph of Gag Order. So if it's a mage, for example, and they ice block you, you're usually going to want to Spell Reflect, you know, just to get the deep freeze, but they'll probably, if they don't suck, they'll probably Ice Lance you to get the Spell Reflect off, but it's better than doing nothing. Plus you have another Spell Reflect. What I do is I range silence them while I'm in the Nova. That way, if I'm at a disadvantage and I can't move, they're at a disadvantage and can't cast. If you're not going to get any off, at least don't let them get any off. The main specs that you can be using that aren't, you know, minor, useless glyphs, I mean, they're not useless, they'll probably do something useful eventually. But I use Hindering Strike, decreases their movement speed by 50% by 8 seconds. Glyph of Death from Above, reduces the cooldown of her Heroic Leap by 15 seconds, which is really helpful if your charge is down. And you can see it's only a 30-second cooldown. It's not that bad. It's about as bad as your Shockwave, but not. Now, talents. The main talents that I'll use. Now, of course, everyone's playstyle varies, but I use Double Time because you can charge twice with the cooldown of 1 charge. So I'll go ahead and give you an example here. Let's see. You can watch the pig charge once, you can charge twice, and it's retaining the cooldown from the first charge. So basically, you get 2 charges, cooldown of 1. It's really helpful if you're fighting a mage. He blinks, throwing their arcane bolts, whatever the crap they do. Now, here we have the big whoop, if you will. Whenever you are below 35% health, you regenerate 3% health every second. That is a little bit overpowered, but it helps. You could be cheap and use it, or you could be a cool guy and use, you know, old style and rage regeneration. It has a 1 minute cooldown. That's not bad. It used to be like 3 or something. I use, personally, Disrupting Shout. Interrupts all spellcasting within 10 yards. Basically, it's just another silence slash interrupt. It's not a full silence. It only stops him from casting in that school of magic for 4 seconds. Yeah, so basically you have 3 interrupts and 3 silences. Next one, here. These are more of the offensive ones here. Shockwave. What I use, basically, it's just a stun. It stuns him for 4 seconds. It's does 10k damage here. Well, this is a pig. It's gonna do more, of course, but like, it does 10k damage. But it is very useful knowing that warriors do not have any stuns besides charge. We only have snares and slows. We do not have any stuns. This is our only stun in arms. Next one here. It's Mass, Spell Reflection, Safeguard, and Vigilance. These are basically all your defensives. Mass Spell Reflection, it's a Spell Reflect that you can use while not have a shield equipped in. Then you can use your other Spell Reflect that you your shield. But, okay, so now I'm going to be showing my burst. So what I do, you're going to charge, you know, get your junk off, Shockwave, use the macro, your damage macro, that is. And I guess it's pretty high. It's not too great. It's nothing too great. But it gets the job done. Okay, so the macros I use. No, this is not all. This is my general macros. This is the macros I use. Okay, that's my guild one. These are my silence macros. These are focus silence, focus pummel, and focus fear. Alright, now I'm going to show you what my focus macros are. So basically, if you have your focus set, you don't have to target the guy. If you're on one guy, you can silence him, range silence, without actually targeting him. Now, if you're flash healing and your silence is down, charge pummel, and that's a silence. Your next one is charge fear. Fears him. Unless you hit them, so don't hit them. But that works if that works most of the time. Okay, now my actual warrior macros. Okay, this is my basic, very basic charge macro. It casts my commanding shout as I'm charging, so I don't have to waste the global while I'm fighting. Okay, so this is a macro for your burst. It's basically going to be recklessness, deadly calm, your trinket, and you don't have to put berserker rage in there, but it increases damage done by 10% for 6 seconds. So I put that in there, just add it in there. Plus, they can't fear you while you're bursting, so awesome. Okay, so now I'm basically going to show you my defensive cooldowns. I mean, this is my defensive macro right here. Basically, all it does is this. It equips your shield and sword or axe or whatever, your one-handed and shield, and if you click it again, you cast your spotter function. If my axe macro, well, it's not an axe anymore, I used to have an axe, when you use it, basically just re-equips your sword. Then I have my basic defensive cooldown thing. Pops Rallying Cry, Die by the Sword, which is retaliation, shield wall, shield block, and shield barrier, all at once. So those are the basic macros and things you're going to be needing to know if you're going to be playing a warrior in patch 5.0.4 or in, of course, Mist Pandaria. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope this helped.
Goodbye.